Hi Tappers! Today's story is about depression from guilt. Guilt is so systemic. One of the biggest core issues humans have is I'm not enough. The bad feeling for not being enough is guilt. You feel responsible for not being enough, and you feel like you were wrong for not being able to be enough, and helplessness to correct it is usually attached as well. This story comes from the practitioner's view of Betty Saunders. Betty says, "A woman contacted me asking for help because she had visited a new doctor, and within 10 minutes he had diagnosed her with depression and put her on a course of tablets to be taken for 6 months. She wasn't happy with this and asked if she could try EFT, the procedure I have been doing with her friend. The whites of her eyes were all fawn and cloudy, and she was in a bad state. She hadn't taken the tablets because she wanted to try EFT first. I worked with her for nearly 1 hour, during which time we discovered that she had felt guilty all her life because she had given birth to a hemophilial son, and every time he had bled, she had this reoccurring depression and guilt." Dawson comments that it is commonplace for EFT key issues to surface after doing some diligent tapping. It's as though the way is cleared for the deeper issues to bubble up to the top. Now, he wasn't present at the session, of course, but he suggested some phraseology that might be useful in future cases of this nature. Things you could tap on would be, even though I feel responsible for my son's bleeding, even though I bleed inside when my son bleeds outside, even though I think I am defective, even though I focus on what's wrong here and take no credit for giving my son life, even though I'm not seeing this as a learning opportunity, even though I'm seeing this as a garage full of guilt instead of a launch pad for love, even though this guilt is nothing more than a replay of the guilt trips of my mother, father, brother, teacher, etc. that they laid on me, even though I love to feel sorry for myself and I don't know why, etc. Betty concludes, after a few rounds of EFT, she started smiling. When the SUDS level reached 0, her eyes were clear and shiny. Truly dramatic results, especially when you realize that her son is now in the hospital in great pain with a knee replacement, and there's no sign of depression or guilt. This is a beautiful example of how EFT makes room for relationships that you want to have, but might feel impossible due to invisible barriers, and how an even ongoing issue that can't be resolved can find peace and a higher quality of life. Her son will always have hemophilia, but now he will always have his mom, rather than his mom and her heavy shroud of guilt. I bet that brought an immense amount of joy to him as well. I'll see you soon.